again. It's Monday, February 10th, 2014. Yesterday I posted a video about looking for rust on my 914 project, and I said I was going to start taking apart the front end, and we did that. Removed the bumper, and I haven't found anything yet that I'm particularly concerned about. I don't see any rust at all there off the bumper or the valance. I watched a few more videos on YouTube, especially from the guy from Canada, and I noticed that he had extensive rust under the wheel wells and was actually fabricating pieces to go in and replace this front portion here. He was doing pieces all over it, took the whole fenders off, and was making it all himself. I mean, the guy's really skilled, but luckily I don't have those issues, and I'm not a body man. Certain things I don't mind taking on or tackling or learning about. Certain things I just don't even want to bother with. Now, we did find, here is the channel where the weather stripping goes around the headlight, and we did find a little bit of rust here. This little piece of metal here was rusted out, and of course water was accumulating and it runs down in. Now we've cleaned this out a little bit and put a little bit of rust inhibitor on it. We've had the same issue on the opposite side, a little bit worse. Again, it rotted this particular portion of the channel out, but this whole piece of metal here is just spot welded down and actually hangs over inside the trunk, so there's no water on the back side or anything of this. This piece could be simply ground out, easily replaced with another piece of sheet metal and welded in, or it could probably actually even be pop riveted in. Like I say, it's not going to be exposed to any water, so that shouldn't be an issue. Again, like I said, it just depends on how particular I want to be with this. I don't think this car is ever going to be exposed to salted roads. It never has been, and it's probably not going to be exposed to a great deal of weather. Not here in California. It rains and 30 minutes later it's dry. Plus, I intend to keep this thing inside a garage once it's done. We did find a little bit of where the water had run down inside the bucket, and you can see that it's kind of dark here. This is where I've used a die grinder and buffing wheels and cleaned whatever surface rust off of there that I could. Got it nice and clean. Then we used a rust inhibitor on that. We may go back and replace this piece, or I'm a little bit of a redneck. This is door edge molding that you buy at any kind of parts store, and you put it down the edge of your car door, and keeps you from opening your door into other cars and chipping the paint. And frankly, I think any old redneck would be proud of that fix. Put a little silicone there and it looks pretty good to me, so that may be as far as this goes. Now, we have gone up to the fender areas here, up at the top edge, and of course we saw the Canadian guy had to remove his fenders because he had so much rust underneath. We did have a little bit of accumulation of water here. There is a small hole right there. I took the hood off so that I could get into these areas a little easier. Here's a little trick I learned on YouTube. Before we took it off, you see this little hole right here. What we did is I took a number 30 drill bit while the hood was still in place, drilled a hole through the bracket and into the hood. And what I'll do is when it comes time to put that hood back on so that I know it's perfectly aligned as to where it was, we'll put the bolts in, not tighten them down, but we'll move it around, slide a pop rivet into this hole, line the holes up, pop the rivet, tighten the hood down. Should be right back where it was. Then all we got to do is touch up paint over the pop rivet, and it's like new. This right here, we found a little Bondo in this area, and we used abrasive wheels, as you can see, wire wheels and abrasive wheels, and buffed that back, and I did find that there was a hole here. Now, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about this particular hole. It was filled with Bondo. I really don't like that kind of patch, but I think it's going to be a little bit too difficult to patch that out for anybody like me. That would call for a professional to do that. And once again, like I'm saying, since we're not exposed to salty roads and extreme wetness, this may end up going back and being patched much like it was before, because in my lifetime this car is really never going to see a lot of use. And it's never going to really see wet weather, so I may never have to deal with that issue again. It's kind of beyond my capabilities anyway. I'm not a body man. The floor pan, I may take that on myself. I do have the pans, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that big of an issue. Drill the spot welds out, put the new ones in place, you know, and clamp it and hold it tight and do some rosette welding, and I think I can probably do that. I saw again on YouTube a guy that had taken a Mustang and he took 2x6s and some plywood and he made a homemade rotisserie, and it cost him about $80 for wood and hardware, and he put the car on a rotisserie and was able to turn the car on its side and work on the bottom. I do have, luckily, I have an extensive shop that I can work in, so I think I have the room to do that, and I have the skill with wood and plywood, and I may end up doing that myself. So luckily I've got the room for it. In fact, I've got a big giant loft. I don't know if you can see it above my garage door, but I think 90% of the parts in this Porsche are going to end up there. And so let me tackle that one myself. Not afraid to try new things. A lot of the things that I'm doing on this, luckily, I've picked up off of YouTube. And I've done, you know, certain things that I can do, I do, and things that I don't know how to do, I'm willing to try to learn about them. In fact, that's my block wall right there. That block wall, this is 6/10 of an acre, and there's 6/10 of an acre of block wall here that goes all around in divider walls. And I went on YouTube and I learned how to stucco. And so I stuccoed the wall and it came out beautifully. So I realize stucco is a little bit different than body work, but you know, like I say, I'll do what I can. The things that I think are better left to the professionals will be left to the professionals. But that's as far as I've gotten so far. And luckily, that's all the rust issues that we have to deal with for now. So we'll keep on going. As I find more things, I'll post them. Stay tuned. Thanks.